Hold up.
Hey SMU crew, this is Ellenie and I am coming to you guys with an awesome, totally Trello training. Okay. When Rachel asked me to do this training, I was like, yep, I definitely can show how I use Trello for everything. And I think the best way to show you guys how to use Trello is the fact that basically you can use it for so many different ways. I could show you one way, I can show you two ways, but I'm going to show you guys 4 ways to use Trello for your business, for your clients, and basically to organize your entire life. So usually what happens, I have a psychology background, so I'm going to tell you guys what happens with your brain when you start thinking about how to process information and start doing tasks. It's very easy to get overwhelmed. And the thing about having these programs like Trello and Asana and everything, it just helps you break everything down. When you are overwhelmed, you're actually more likely to either not be as productive, not do the tasks that you're supposed to do, procrastinate, or you tend to do your brain wants to do a lot of multitasking, a lot of switching between tasks. And during the day, there's a lot of ups and downs in productivity, right? So sometimes, some hours in the day, you feel like super productive. And then the next hour you feel like, oh my gosh, I can't get anything done. And it's just horrible. So Trello is just a great sort of way to compartmentalize whatever you want to do in a day or by project or by client, and it just opens up your eyes. Okay. Another big important thing about organizing yourself, especially in a visual way, for people who are more visual, is color coding, right? So you'll see that, Trello is very colorful. There's a lot of labels going on. I'm going to show you guys all the different labels. There's due dates, and basically your eyes really enjoy color, right? So they are attracted to color. So that's why these colorful things are so important. I can take out an agenda and write everything down with a pencil, but it doesn't do the same to me than it does to look at it visually and to be able to put some nice colored labels. So let's get started on Trello training. I have 4 boards that I want to show you guys. Okay, this is how I basically run my entire business. So I do VA work primarily, but I also have social media management clients. So I don't have a lot of like upper level, funnels and Facebook ads, Trello stuff, because that's not what I do, right? So I do a lot of virtual assistants and social media management, what I figured would be perfect for SMU anyway. So I'm going to show you the first board. This is basically an online agenda. Okay, so this is like when you get an agenda, when you used to get them in school, or, the ones that you can buy at the bookstore now. And basically, you open it up and it has every day. This is basically using Trello for your daily tasks. Okay. And actually what's great about it is that you can use it for batching. Okay. So when you have multiple clients, it's easy to get confused as to, what I was saying before about multitasking and that your desire to switch to a different task that might be easier is really strong, but then you end up procrastinating and not getting the priority tasks done. And then there are certain kind of tasks like ongoing daily tasks, and there are more batching tasks for like weekly, let's say. So basically this is a sample of what I do in my agenda. Okay, so every Sunday I sit down and I work this out. Okay, so I basically make a list. So Trello is just a giant board with lists. Okay, if anyone doesn't, is not familiar with Trello, when you open it up, it literally starts with just one list and then like add another list, and you just, you keep going and you add lists. So what I did was I did Monday to Sunday lists. Okay, and I added a card for each section of the day that I do my work, right? So I'll do morning is 10 to 12. Okay. And I just labeled it orange for morning, the sunrise in the morning, and, that's it. I just chose a color. So in this case, the label doesn't have writing on it. It is just a color. Okay. So you can write down, you can name each label, and I'll show you those later, but you can name each label. For now, this is just strictly for visual, like this color is for morning. Okay. So morning is from 10 to 12, afternoon, same thing. I put a green from 2 to 5. And, the reason why I put green is not just because like it's, like random for me. Green is actually my most productive time of the day. So that's the reason why I did green. Evening is blue because it's, it's nighttime, and, I tend to get some last minute tasks done at night. But a lot of the time is family time, and usually I block off, I don't even write down certain hours of the day that are, for lunchtime and dinner time. Okay, so basically, I go in, I do 3 sections for each day. So Monday to Sunday, morning, afternoon, and evening. Those are the first cards I create. Okay, and then I will do my daily kind of, so like let's say I have like one main client, right? So I will do the tasks for that main client, let's say in the morning. And so what you can do is, just to give you an example here. Okay, so like this is like admin VA work, right? So from 10 to 12, that's what I'm doing. So you can edit the description. You can write anything you want in there, like little notes. So basically there's 2 sections for notes, right? So there's the description section, and there's also the comment section. Okay, so this is just for my personal use. I mean, you can have multiple team members for Trello and make it like super complicated, but I am just showing you guys basically what I do for my personal use and for outsourcing to one VA, which is my sister, Dina. So, and that's another board that I'll show you guys. So admin VA work, this is what I write for this client, client A. And then the cool thing about Trello is you can add checklists, right? So you can label your checklist whatever you want, like to do. Sometimes I just do checklists, things to be done, whatever. And then you can go in and just like add items as you go, complete this form, complete task B. I'm just giving you guys examples. You just return. And when you're done, you can check it off, right? So you can go through every day and literally just check off all your work. I mean, it is worth it to batch your stuff on Sunday night. Way worth it. Okay, and then when you click X, it stays there. Okay, so don't worry about clicking X. You're just closing it from being like maximized. You're just minimizing it basically. Here, like I'll put like discovery call. I will put so the thing is, like, this is the title, this is the label of the card, right? I will put the time in there, but you can also do like due dates and time through here, right? So you can add a due date, you can add the time. I just prefer sometimes to write it out in the title so that I can visually see it a little bit better than the due date here, which is a little bit smaller. Now, the reason why I did put a due date that is different than that day is because I might want to follow up with this on that day. And when you do, let's say, something that is, starting to be overdue. So let's say I do move it to the 20th, okay? It'll turn red. Okay, it'll say it's past due. I live with these past due things. Like I love visually seeing that something is late, something is past due. And I love that Trello, the due date changes color. Okay, if it's something on that day, it should be yellow. Yeah, today. Okay, so that's good too, because it kind of tells you, okay, well, this card is due soon. Something needs to be done. And you can write in here, you can write follow up on date above, whatever you want, you know. So here, let's say, so you can even prep your cards for discovery calls. So here you can write down all the questions that you want to ask the client. You can also attach their website here. If you click on attachments, I mean, aside from being able to attach basically everything, you can attach anything from your computer, different Trello boards, Google Drive, Dropbox, anything. But you can also add a link and it brings it here. So you can do like potential client website. I just did my website as an example, but basically you can have any link that you need here that you want to, you know, find quickly. And then for like during the discovery call, basically you can write your answers here, you know, you can also write them here. So it's really great for that. And the cool thing about Trello is that it has a memory of everything, you know, it has a log of everything that you've done. Okay, so you can actually see where your card went and where it's going and where you moved it to. And it just logs everything. It's really great. So yeah, so that's the discovery call. So a meeting with client A, like I will put it, you know, from 4 to 5. And basically, these are the to-do lists from the meeting, right? So someone, you know, you get your tasks in your meeting and then you can write them down on a checklist and then check them off as you go. You can also put a due date to follow up so you don't forget today on this. It's really cool. So that's Monday. And then, and I want to show you too. So I had the admin VA tasks in the morning. And then I set up my client B, which is my social media management client, in the evening. Okay. So that is like plan Twitter posts for this week, batch schedule into Hootsuite for Instagram, schedule pins. Like this is a different checklist and it says reminders, right? So that shows me that I'm working on client B tasks in the evening. And then client C tasks, you know, for Tuesday, another social media management client, you can add the same sort of checklist or reminders. So basically, you know, and you can block off family time and you can even put a nice label for family time. Yeah, so that's it. That's what I do for my agenda, my weekly agenda. And I will just go in through and fill this whole thing out. Okay, even on the weekend. I mean, you know, let's face it, we work online, we work on the weekends, and that's it. And so it really organizes your time, and it's really useful to give you a breakdown of every single day if that's what you prefer. So I am going to show you guys my next board. My next board is, so that's just like your personal agenda. My next board is client tasks. Okay. So this board is, now you can use all these boards together. That'll make you like super organized. It's just what you prefer. This board basically breaks down what you do for every single client. And the purpose of it is, for me, two things. I love having a visual of every single client on one board. Okay, so some people, this doesn't work for some people, okay, because there's too many, let's say, to-dos for each client if it's like a very large project. But this is how I started with my VA work, because I had one client and then I had two clients and then I started having 7, 8, 9 clients. And I was getting overwhelmed because I couldn't find a way to see what I needed to do for each client and where my priorities lied, you know, because some clients need something for a week from now and other clients need something for a day from now. And it was just getting too overwhelming. So this was my very first Trello board. This is an example of it, but this is my very first Trello board, had this sort of idea behind it. Okay. And I also added, when my sister came on my team, I added her to the board as well. And I want to show you also, like, you can add people to the board by clicking right here. Okay. And you just put their email in and you can send invitation. You can also invite them with a link, and you can create a link. You can make your board. Okay. Before I go into this board, I'm going to show you, you can make your board public if you want. I prefer my boards private, but you can make it public. You can create a team. You can create a business team. This is where you would create a board, the plus sign. Basically, I do all the free Trello stuff. So creating a business, you know, you would need the paid one. So this is all free. So I'm showing you the free options. I believe that you also get a one free power up. So a power up is, a lot of it is for the paid version of Trello, but a power up is they're little connections that, you know, little apps that you can, I'll show you, that you can connect to your Trello board. Okay, so you can do anything basically. Yeah, any single thing. Like you could see Google Drive, Slack, custom fields, calendar, you know. And I think I had a free power up with the free version. So if you get one, you can add one of these to your Trello. So I added the calendar view. And basically what it does is it will set up, whenever you set a due date to every card, it will set up a calendar view for you. And that's right here. Okay. So anything that you have a due date for, it will put it on a calendar. And you can have it for the week or you can have it for the month. It's really cool. Okay. So that's very useful as well. Now, yeah. So going back to this. So basically this is what I do. A list for client A, a list for client B, client C. I have a list for one-off jobs. And I have reminders. Okay. So this is just, you know, standard notes, you know, reminders could be anything random that you want to see on this board. Send Dina credentials for client A, send email to potential client. I put some labels on these, and what I was talking about with labels is, you know, that you can have them without anything on it, like any description on it, just be a color, or you can have it mean something. Okay. So this, let's say, is priority. Green is invoice info, like, hello, green money, you know, like, so per client, I always start with client and then their invoice information so that I can remember when to send them an invoice. I don't automate my invoices. I like to send them manually for now, but you know, I know that many people automate their invoices and that is cool too. I just prefer to do it manually. That's just me. So yeah, you can have reminders here. This, let's say, send email campaign every Monday. Okay. So this has a weekly task label. Okay. So you can invoice info, priority, VA task, overdue, daily task, weekly task, monthly task. These are really useful because you can go in there and be like, okay, this is something I have to do every day. This is something I have to do every week. This is something I should do monthly. And you can put it, I like to put the label along with the due date of when the next week is due. Okay. So after the week, after you plan, let's say, you know, you complete the task that you were going to do on the Monday, you can go right away and schedule it for the next Monday, which is what I did yesterday. I completed my task and then I scheduled it for the next Monday. And that way, when the next Monday comes, that will be red and it will show you that you need to do that on that day. It's really cool. Yeah, when something is overdue in red. Okay, so VA task, this is where, you know, LinkedIn outreach for client B is a daily task, and it's also something I outsourced to my sister. So it shows her that she needs to be doing that task that day as well. Okay, and you can put a due date too. These are stickers. So these are so cute. These come with the free version. I love it. Yeah, these are the stickers. You can just slide it in. So the sticker just meant that, you know, my sister finished that's done, and she finished it. And this means that it's overdue. Okay. So, you know, you have a very long to-do list of what you need for the design of it, and it is just overdue, and it should have been, you know, done last week. So I put a big old thumbs down on that. All right. So yeah, basically I wanted to show you guys the cute little features of the stickers and how to make labels that are daily task, weekly task, monthly task, and invoice information here. And really what this does is it gives you a visual of how many clients you have, every single client you have, and what are the priorities for every single client. And this is for, like, you know, it worked so well for me for VA work. I would batch content for client C, let's say weekly every Wednesday. And then I would batch client for client B weekly every Monday. And it was just really, really helpful. And then I had client A where I was doing the daily tasks. So I had, you know, my task was to get to inbox 0 every day, to check Slack every day, to engage in the group every day, so that you can come back at the end of the day, recheck it, and be like, okay, yeah, these are the daily tasks that I should have done that day. And that I have to finish before I go to bed. Yeah, so those are the client tasks. I am going to show you guys 2 more boards. Okay. Now this one, I am not taking credit for. This is Casey Pierce's board. Okay. And she sent this to me yesterday because I said, I want to show everyone how they can collect leads and track leads through Trello. I need your brain. And Casey is amazing at this. So she sent me, this is her template for tracking leads. And so just to give you a little rundown, and you can look at it, you can, you know, do the same thing. It's so smart. She has need to research, messages to send, messages sent, schedule call, sent proposal, need to follow up with. Okay, so think of this working in conjunction with the LinkedIn challenge. You know, how amazing is Rachel's LinkedIn challenge? This can work with you to keep you on track for the LinkedIn challenge and for anything else, but let's think of it for the LinkedIn challenge. So you have a card for company A, company B, company C, you know, all the way to Z if you want, you know, basically naming, like, you just name your companies that you want to research. You can put them all here. And then another list is messages to send. So Casey has made the labels as that they need ads, or they have ads, that if they have no pixel, or if they have a pixel, you know, and high priority. So it just tells you the information that you need for that, the client. And it just gives you a really detailed, so you can go in and be like, okay, I have to send a message to this company that doesn't have a pixel. So I'm going to be pitching them about, you know, in this way. And it just gives you like the direction of how you want the message to go, which is really smart, because in the LinkedIn challenge, when you're doing outreach, you want to be personal. You don't want to necessarily look like it's just coming from, you know, an automated thing. And then messages sent. So she has a little checklist here. Basically she has, that she sent her LinkedIn message, which is great. So that's checked off. Awesome. And then scheduled call with this company. So you just basically shift, you move the companies around. You make a note of each company and you just move them down the list. So you can see this as almost like a horizontal staircase that you're moving people over. And actually, like, I have a Trello board for all of SMU where every single one of you guys has a card. And that is how I track all you lovely people. And I just, move you guys along to wherever you need to go, whether you're current, whether you're in your trial, whether you're part of you're part of Elite or you're part of Click. And it just keeps me totally organized in that way. So this is, Casey's concept here is similar, where she moves things over depending on, messages sent, scheduled call, sent proposal, need to follow up with. Such an awesome thing to do. And she has a due date here, so follow up with on that day. And I also actually wanted to show you guys how to archive cards. So basically, the archive is here. Okay, so the whole concept behind archiving is that you don't want to necessarily delete things, right? So some people have an anxiety about deleting things. And so this is why archiving is there. You can archive a list, you can archive a note, you can archive a card, so basically you just archive. And then so when you archive something, it'll get the stripes on the top there, and then it'll disappear from your list. Okay. If you do want to delete a card, you have to archive it first, and then you can delete it right there. Okay. If you want to reactivate a card, you will have to search for it, or you can find it in the archived section, but you can search for it, and then you can just move it back to the list. Okay, so to follow up on. Okay, and if you move it back, it'll unarchive. It'll get back to normal. Oh yes, and actually I wanted to show you how to copy cards as well. So like, there's archiving and there's moving and there's copy. Okay. You can move a card to whatever list you need. The lists are here. Okay. If you need to move a card, you can move it directly, or you can also shift it over. So you can this is what's so cool about it. You can physically move it like this, or you can click on the card and move it here. Okay. And then when you go to copy, it will literally copy the card, and you can move it to whatever list you need, and it'll make a copy. So it'll keep this one, and it'll make a copy on another list. You can also change the title of the card. So what it would do is it would copy all this information. And if you don't change the title, it'll just come up again as a second card of the exact same thing. If you change the title, it'll change the title here, but it'll keep the due date and anything else that's on the card. Okay. So awesome leads. You can use it to, track your leads and track your messages and track any sort of company information that you need to know. And then the last board is my favorite. Okay, so this is the board that I use per client. So this is for me, for the purpose of this is what I use for social media management clients. Okay, so once they are signed and scheduled and onboarded, this is what I go in and fill out. Now, this is personal to me. I know that you can also, some people share it with their client as well. And they, and some clients, prefer to use Trello, and they want you to use Trello. So you might even see something like this if you ever join a board for somebody who, let's say you're doing virtual assisting or you're doing social media and they have a board with all of their information on it. Okay, so you might see something like this. But basically, this is what I use when I onboard a client for social media. I will do a list for credentials where I will have all of their passwords and everything for every single thing, Acuity, Gmail, ClickFunnels, ActiveCampaign, Facebook, whatever you need to have. You create a list for that. And, you know, when you click on it, you have email, password. Okay. You can, of course, use LastPass and everything to make it more secure. You know, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, that is totally fine. But this is just what I do. And then I want to show you guys something really cool is you can upload images and make a card. And every single time you upload an image, it will make a card for that image. So you click, you know, you can click on it, add another card. You need to title it first to, I like to title it first to be able to open it. So let's say like, graphic style. Okay. Then you can click on it and then you can attach from your computer, from your Dropbox. So I'm going to go into Dropbox actually. I'm going to go into Dropbox right here and pull up one of, this is an old client of mine. This is her. Okay. Yeah. Why isn't this working? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, you can upload from here. You can also upload from your desktop, which is what I did yesterday. And I'll show you guys that. I don't know why this is not working. So I'll show you guys this. Oh yeah, choose. Well, there's the choose. It wasn't coming up before. There we go. Sometimes my computer doesn't scroll. All right. Okay, so this came on as a attachment for in the attachment section, but when I do have something on the desktop, this is what I like about it is it comes up as a it fills the card. Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys actually here. Okay, look, let me show you. Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay. This is what I want to show you. So if you move something, if you pull something off your desktop, it actually turns into, it creates the card with that image, which is what looks so cool. Here it is. Okay. So yeah, so keep that in mind. There you go. Something I learned from doing this for you is adding something from Dropbox doesn't always pull up the picture unless you have probably the Dropbox power up. So that might be something that you would want to get if you have your one free power up and if you use Dropbox a ton. That would be an awesome power up. So yeah, and okay, so this is the branding. You can do, yeah, you do your images here. Website, oh, by the way, this is just an example. I did not create this brand board. I cannot take credit for this. Website promos. Okay. So you can filter by, okay, so this is her blog post promo. So basically you know, when I have a new social media management client, I'll look on their website and I will pull up every single promo that they have. And when the client tells you as well, and you just, you know, this is their blog post promo. I will have the URL for the blog here. This is their opt-in promo, link to ebook here. She has a complimentary 15-minute clarity session, link to her schedule here. And then she has something called an IT list, which is probably her mailing list. And I will put the URL here. And so that way, when I'm going in to create content for her, I have everything here. I can just be like, okay, I'm promoting the blog post this week for Monday, and I'm promoting the clarity session for next Tuesday. And, you know, it just gives you, it's just every single thing is here so that you can't ever not have ideas for what to post for content. There are testimonials that I pulled from her website here, and I just created a card and put it in the title of the card so that it can just come up like that. You can also just have cards that have, like, you know, testimonial. You can title it testimonial 1 and then put the testimonial here. There's so many options in Trello, whatever your eyes visually like to look at. Workflows. So you can have a whole process of scheduling into Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. You can make a checklist, right? Copy and paste caption from spreadsheet into Buffer, upload graphic, and schedule for that day. And this is really useful for bringing on an assistant when, you know, when someone is not used to a task and they need to go in and just refresh their memory every time. You can just refer them to this and they can go through and check it off as they go. So that's the workflows for everything here. Images, I put them on my desktop and I upload them here so they can come up in the title and it looks pretty. Engagement ideas. Okay, so I have like questions to ask, and what you can do is you can do a entire checklist of you know, engaging questions to ask if you feel like batching one day for this. And then you can go through and just check off the ones that you've used so that you don't repeat yourself with your content posting. GIF off ideas, same thing, you know, have your ideas here and then check them off when you've used them. And it's really cool. Hashtags, okay? So like if you have a couple of blends, combinations of hashtags, you can have blend number 1 and you have your hashtags right in here. Okay, blend number 2, hashtags in here, okay? And then holidays and special events. So, I mean, if she has a spiritual workshop on September 20th, so I put the due date on the 13th to remind myself to start promoting her workshop, which probably should be sooner. Websites for holiday calendars. Okay, this is really cool. I basically just attached links to daysoftheyear.com, timeanddate.com, and these remind me to go into those and check what, you know, if you, let's say, you know, you can plan out some content with, you know, social media, holidays, and those fun ones, you know, watermelon day and ice cream day and all that. And so that you can remind yourself of the actually important holidays that sometimes we forget. Yeah, starting promo for spring retreat. You know, you have your due date here, and just to keep it in mind that she has a spring retreat coming up. And that is it. That is it. That is my Trello training, where I use all of these things, and I use to be honest, I use this one the most because I really like looking at everything as an entire whole, and I use the weekly agenda a ton. I hope that was super helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, and let me know if you ever, you know, if you guys ever need help with anything, Trello setup. I'd be more than happy to help anybody who has any questions. Thank you, guys.